inspiration. A foundation still important today, the process of sharing words strung together that help point out the way, the many voices within each page. Turn pages from the past that resonate with you today. Turn pages today that create an escape within your mind. Turn pages that express the treasure within your tomorrow. Turn pages that hold a future for you to follow. We are turning pages.
Hi, my name is Tommie Pinn, and I am here to talk to you about math and science. I started up and I grew up in Oakland, California, where that was the first place that in school where I got interested in doing math and science. And when I was in high school, I remember falling in love with biology. I was part of the Health Academy program where I was able to extend what I knew just in basic science and math and take that to another level where I was able to work different jobs and just increase my love for science. That increased more when I worked in the morgue at a hospital, and that made me even more and more curious about the things I wanted to do in science. And initially wanted to become a doctor, but I decided not to take that path. And I ended up going to school to be a mortician for a little while. And then I went on to Sac State where I got my degree in biological sciences with a concentration in forensic. I also have a minor in chemistry and a minor in forensic investigation. Once I got all this knowledge, I was able to then take that and do something that I've always desired to do, which is own my own business. So I started two businesses, which are Me's Beauty Supply, and then I also have Rooted and Bare Fruit. And with that, I still do math. You would think that, oh, you make hair products, you don't do math. But no, I have to do measurements and sit there and calculate and see what little thing I need for this and what little thing I need for that, and how to cook things for a certain amount of time, how to bake the herbs that I use. And so all the different times from the time I was little, that even just my mom teaching me how to cook in the kitchen, all wrapped up into me learning how to be a scientist and also utilizing my math skills in that. So my hair oils, they have a formula, and so does my hair butter. Or when I make my aloe vera sprays, they all have a formula in which I have to stick to it so that I come up with the same product over and over again. So one of the things that brings me joy in providing a service to people and making my own hair care products is seeing a happy client. I remember when I was little and I didn't really like getting my hair done. I had a lot of hair, but my mom would sit me down and she would do these beautiful braids in my hair and put all these beautiful beads. And I just remember afterwards, I would go outside and all my friends would be like, "Oh my goodness, who did your hair?" I would shake my beads. They made all this noise, which my mom didn't really like in church, but I did. And that right there is always a memory that I have. So I actually have a joy in doing, especially younger kids, doing their hair, because that's where the start of where your self-confidence will come in. You can be creative, you can be free, and nobody really can tell you how you can wear your hair. It's your own expression. And I love bringing that out in people and just seeing them look at that mirror right after they got their hair done, or smell the hair product, just the aroma of it from their hair, and they feel really good about themselves and they have that smile, especially when I do little girls' hair and I'll put like pretty colors in it or pretty bows in it, and they just light up when they see the difference on how their hair looked before and how it looks now. And just sometimes I have curly hair and it's not always the easiest when your hair is curly, but I have learned to maintain my hair and how the different ways to do it. And so I have also taught my daughters how to do their hair. And I've taught some nieces, and we've had, hair mask days where we all blend up vegetables and fruits and make hair mask. And that's what makes it fun. And just adding all those different elements. And obviously I couldn't take everything that I learned for science with me. I took the things that are helpful for me now, and the things that I needed to put aside, I put those aside, and maybe one day I'll pick those things up. And so that's the joy that it brings me, is that it's learning something new. Everyone's hair texture is different. Everyone loves different smells. And I think that just looking in that mirror and seeing that little girl and just putting that smile on her face, where her hair is now in a different style, every couple of months, that right there is just everything for me. So one book that I feel like I can relate to is Ada Twist's Scientist, The Why Files, The Science of Baking. And one of the reasons that I was drawn to this book is, number one, the little girl in there, she has puffs in her hair. And as you can see, my hair is in a puff. I don't always wear it in a puff. Sometimes I wear it in a big afro. Sometimes I have it colored pink and purple and all different fun colors. But Ada Twist, The Scientist, this is about a little girl who's trying to figure out how to bake a cake. And in that, she is trying different ways. She's figuring out, why am I adding flour? How much flour? What do I add? Sugar? Like, without the sugar, the cake's not sweet. Or, without the eggs, maybe the cake's not gonna rise. And so that reminds me and how I relate to how I started coming up with my hair products. Years ago when I was a kid, I used to do all my friends' and cousins' hair, and I would go in the fridge and make little stuff and be like, hey, I made you some conditioner. Let me put these mayonnaise and these eggs in your hair and this olive oil. And they would believe me, but apparently it was good for your hair. I just didn't know any better then, but they started seeing results. And so they would be like, hey, can you make me some of that conditioner again? And I would just be in there cooking. They thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. And who would have known that would have birthed what I'm doing today? So one of the reasons why I really got into making my own hair care products is because my daughter, she has alopecia, and she had to go through chemo because she has an autoimmune disease. And part of that comes with her having alopecia. And my other daughter, she has psoriasis in her scalp a lot. And so that's like an inflammation of their scalp. And so I noticed that their scalp would be really inflamed. And so I began to try to figure out what things I can use on it. And so I started mixing things just like little Ada Twist did. And I came up with a formula, and it soothed their scalp, and it seemed to be working. And with that, I was able to help aid in my daughter not losing all her hair when she was going through chemo. She didn't have cancer, but they also use chemo drugs for other things. And so she was able to keep the majority of her hair. My other daughter, her scalp cleared up, and she didn't have all the itching and stuff. And then other people started asking me, can you give me some? Can you make me some? And I'm like, sure. So it's almost like baking a cake, right? You bake a cake, you're not gonna eat the whole cake by yourself, or because your stomach would hurt. But you would bake a cake and you'd probably give your mom some, your sister some, your brother some. And even though you can't see that there's eggs in it and flour and there's sugar, all you see is the pretty cake. And so at the end, all you see is the pretty hair, and all the ingredients in it are blended in. And so that's why I liked Ada Twist, because she was able to try to figure it out. She didn't just throw a bunch of stuff in there and, then you have a nasty cake or the cake doesn't rise. She took each item, she determined why she needed each item, and then she was able to produce something at the end. So I hope each of you will take the time and check out this book. It's very interesting. I don't want to spoil it for you, but if I were you, I'd read it because I enjoyed it. I am a forensic scientist. I am also a math lover. I am also a business owner, and I take my math and my science and I use it to make my hair products and to sell things, because if I don't know the numbers, then I'm not gonna make money. And so I hope that you guys take the different things that I've told you and incorporate it in your lives and make your own story. My name's Tommie Pinn, and this is what mathematicians do.